Disney in full damage control mode over Snow White. Disney's live-action Snow White is just around the corner, set to release on March 21st. However, instead of building excitement, Disney seems to be in damage control mode, trying to limit negative press. Reports indicate that the US premiere is being heavily restricted, with only a few media outlets allowed to ask questions. Even then, certain topics are completely off-limits. The controversy surrounding the film. Major story changes made to the classic tale. Any mention of how the film is supposedly about saving society rather than staying true to the original. Questions about Rachel Zegler's relationship with co-star Gal Gadot. Disney is directly stepping in to ensure that no controversial topics come up, which only reinforces the idea that the company is struggling to contain the backlash. Rachel Zegler dropped from future Disney projects. In an even more shocking development, Rachel Zegler has reportedly been dropped from all future Disney projects, including her voiceover role in Toy Story 5. It's becoming clear that Disney wants to distance itself from the controversy surrounding the film. Zegler has been vocal in her defense of Snow White, recently stating, "As a feminist and activist, I believe it's important to stand up for who women are. We are brave, hardworking, and unstoppable, and that's exactly what we wanted to showcase in Snow White." She also addressed the backlash, saying, "Right now, we're dealing with bitter young women and toxic men who have no clue what Snow White truly means. That's why we had to change her story, her background, and even the meaning of her name." However, critics argue that Snow White's story didn't need to be changed in such a drastic way. Instead of a faithful adaptation, the film appears to be more about modern activism than storytelling. Disney cancels UK premiere and scales back US event. Adding to the chaos, Disney quietly cancelled the UK premiere of Snow White, an unusual move for such a high-profile release. Meanwhile, the US premiere has been scaled down significantly, with minimal press coverage. This suggests that Disney expects the film to flop and is trying to limit the damage before release. Snow White ticket sales are disastrous. Perhaps the most telling sign of the film's struggles is its terrible pre-sale numbers. Reports from various theaters suggest some locations have sold only 2 tickets. Others have barely hit single-digit sales. For a Disney live-action remake, especially one based on such an iconic character, these numbers are a major red flag. Instead of addressing these concerns, Zegler continues to double down on her stance, saying, "This isn't just about Snow White, this is about saving society. I think a lot of people in this country feel the same way, especially about leadership and power. But fans aren't buying it. Many feel that Disney has completely abandoned the heart of the original Snow White in favor of pushing a political agenda. A flop in the making?" With ticket sales plummeting, backlash intensifying, and Disney limiting media coverage, it's looking like Snow White could be one of Disney's biggest failures yet. Even Disney's CEO, Bob Iger, has signaled a shift away from heavy-handed messaging, but it might be too little, too late. Audiences are rejecting Disney's modern reimaginings of beloved classics, and Snow White seems to be the latest casualty. Could this be Disney's biggest flop to date? Let me know.